Hey everyone, leader Dorset Spur back with another review of a performance. Well, let's say it, a disappointing result rather than performance. I think the performance overall probably just deserved the draw, but of course, really disappointing having led the game so long, right the way through to the 90th minute. So it's always frustrating when that happens. Always, always. I'd actually predicted a 2-1 win, so I was, really up for that. But I did feel like it was. I did feel like it was coming. I was never comfortable with it. I've got to be absolutely honest. Anyway, look, let's start from the beginning. We come up. I looked at the starting lineup. Quite a strong starting lineup. But the only player in there that I'd kind of go, okay. Obviously, Gray at left back, which we know he's played there before. We've seen it. We've seen it often, and we know that he kind of covers that position for Udogie because obviously Spence doesn't play in Europa. Still seems like it's a decision that's going to bite us on the arse. But listen, ultimately, did he really do that badly? Probably not. I thought he played fairly well. There were some good patches in there, certainly attacking wise. But of course, there was an awful lot of work going down that left-hand side in the end. But listen, in terms of looking at the starting 11, I thought fairly strong, probably the best we could put out. Looked at the bench and thought, oh my days, that is a really young bench. Okay, we did have Basuma on there. We did have Madison on there. We did have Udogie on there. We did have Werner on there as well. But we did also have two keepers, which seems a bit excessive. So yeah, I was a bit kind of put out by that kind of depth. It kind of does scream depth is going to be an issue. We've got a lot of players out injured, so that's going to bite us on the arse if we're not careful. So yeah, I kind of got it, and I thought, yeah, this team should be enough, right? But I'd kind of thought this was going to be a tough game. I didn't think it was going to be a pushover. They've obviously got Dybala in their team, who is an absolute quality player, which we saw last night, right? But kicking off, I watched it in the club with some of the South Dorset Spurs guys. Penalty. Was it a penalty? When I saw him go in and get taken out, at real life pace, I thought to myself, not a penalty. Then when you looked at it in slow motion, they showed you one slow motion angle. I thought, nah, still not a penalty. Get on with it. Come on, let's crack on. But then when they, excuse me, when they reviewed it on a VAR and showed it from the other angle, it does look like he comes across, hits him in the thigh, takes him out. So softish penalty, but I've seen them given, and we saw it given last night. So for me, I'd take it all day long. Brilliantly executed penalty from Son, smashed it, absolutely excellent. And of course, 1-0 up so early in the game, you think to yourself, right, this could actually end up being a rout then if we're really up for this. And it did feel like that. It did feel like there was some good chances coming. Got to shout out Kulu again. Thought he was magnificent. Everything was going through him. He was working really hard for the team, creating an awful lot of opportunities. But of course, Dragushin makes a sloppy challenge, creates a foul, gives Dybala the opportunity to put in a brilliant cross that comes off the back of their player, and Forster's got no chance really. He's not, although he's a big guy, he's not that big to be able to stretch that far. And you're back on level terms. And then, of course, we had the Dybala dink for the next goal. But luckily for us, very, very tight offside. But take that again all day long. But what a move from Dybala. And that continued as well, because he also had, I wrote it down, he also had another go, which then led to Forster getting down very, very quickly. I know a lot of people calling him out saying he's really slow, but he got down very, very quickly to make that save. Really, really quite good. But then on the other side of that, Dybala's the one with the loose ball, plays a loose ball, picked up by Son, plays it to Sarr, Sarr to Kulu, Kulu across the box. And of course, who's there? Who's there? Johnson again. Johnson again. Ole, ole. What can you say? 9 goals in all competitions, coming in at that back post. Long may it continue. It works. You know, he may not be the most effective down that right hand side all the time, but he will pop up with a goal, and happy that he did. And of course, then we had the one where Kulu hit the post, came out. Son, got to lean over that, mate. Get over it. Don't lean back like that. Come on, and you're skying it everywhere. And so that was it. Second half, we go in first half, 2-1 up, and I'm thinking, okay, what's he going to do second half? Are we going to come out all guns blazing like we did against City, or are we going to, fluff this like we did against Brighton? We did neither, to be fair. We came out, we played the game, we kept going, but I just felt that there wasn't a lot of intensity in there. I felt that it was very, very slow, very, very lethargic. They then had 2 goals in quick succession that were both offside. Quite rightly, they were fairly well offside, but the alarm bell should have been ringing. Then at that point, we should have been saying, we've got to get hold of this. I actually wrote it down. On 60 minutes, need to break their hearts, momentum all with them, hitting the crossbar and 2 offside goals. Like, for me, that was the point. At 60 minutes, I'm going, we need to do something. 68 minutes, Maddison comes on, and Bissouma and Johnson and Sarr go off. So a little bit more in the centre there with Bissouma, and with Maddison a little bit stronger. Kulu going out wide, gave us that, opportunity to keep the ball. But it just didn't seem to happen. Too many sloppy passes. The ball seemed to kind of not stick anywhere, even though you've got really good footballers in there. Solanke had a couple of really good chances. And again, I've got to call Solanke out for his work rate. Certainly when he's dropping deep, he's put so much effort in there. And he's very difficult to get the ball off, believe it or not, a lot of the time. But there was occasions when we kept giving that ball away and they kept turning us over. And it felt like something was coming. 76 minutes, Son off, Werner on, Bentancur off, Bergvall on. Didn't see an awful lot from Bergvall, if I'm being honest. He still doesn't seem to really be able to get into the game, and that's disappointing. But it didn't feel like it was something that he was particularly doing wrong. I felt like it just wasn't sticking for anybody at that period. The momentum was still going with them. Of course, then get to a point where Forster makes a brilliant save, plays the ball over the net, which leads to the second corner, and of course, that's when we then get hit with that very, very late equaliser, with the Roma player making up for giving away the penalty in the first half, breaking our hearts yet again. Tottenham becoming inconsistency FC. But listen, this isn't a loss. Feels like a loss, but it isn't a loss. Roma are having a bad time, but they're not a bad team. They've got some decent players in there, and they played some decent football at some points. The Tinker Man is always going to have something up his sleeve. He's always going to keep going. I have to say, I thought Bentancur was lucky to stay on the pitch at one point as well, which kind of really worried me when he went in for that tackle from behind. And I was, he got a yellow card for it, but I did think, that could be dodgy. So it could have been an awful lot worse in the end. But listen, it's another point. It's still only 1 loss out of the was it 4 games now that we've played? Or was it 5 games that we've played? 5 games maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 games that we've played. Only 1 loss, and again we could have done better in that. Really. Got Rangers to come. We've got Elfsberg to come. We've got Hoffenheim to come. we should be able to get maximum points out of those. They'll be difficult. They'll be difficult. Absolutely, they'll be difficult. But listen, you have to take your chances, and it's one of the things we're going to have to learn quickly. I think we really, really need to get into this transfer market come January and add some quality now players for now, because the injury list is creeping up. Although we may have Van der Ven coming back, we may have Romero coming back, but certainly Vicario is going to be out for a while. Hotspur is probably out for another couple of months. Richarlison, will he ever come back? Oh, Weetabix legs, is he ever going to come back and do anything for us? I doubt it. So there is some real spaces in there that we need to fill. So some work to do. But I have to say, there were patches in that game where we played some really, really good football, really attractive football. So I don't think it's as bad as we probably make it out to be. But listen, we want to win. We want to win every game. So absolutely right to be like that. But I say, I don't think anyone played particularly badly. I just feel like we lost our momentum come out in the second half, and if we'd have taken a couple of those opportunities, even one of them, I think that would have been absolutely different. 60 minutes, if we'd have broke their hearts then and got that goal, that would have taken all the momentum away from them. And I think once you've got that rolling momentum, it does affect. You have to break it. We just couldn't get hold of that ball enough to be able to force the thing. So for me, I think fair result in the end. Fair play to Roma. They got something out of it. That maybe people will say they didn't deserve, but I felt that they deserved it on the night. So disappointed, not surprised, but listen, we march on, we keep going. Some better games to come, 3 more to come in that. We only need probably another 1 more win to be certain. But we'll see. It's always good to win them all. And when you're winning games, that keeps your momentum going. And winning breeds winning. And that's what we need to do. So, listen, I'm still on the Ange train. I still want to see us keep going and see what we can build from here. If we can beat Man City, then we can beat anybody. We just have to hit those levels pretty much every game, which isn't easy. Even the best teams lose from time to time or draw games. And this is one of those. So on to Fulham at the weekend. Let's see where that one takes us. And I'll speak to you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Up the Spurs.